Attila, just like every other nomadic conqueror, appreciated the skills of clever craftsmen and engineers of rival sedentary bureaucratic empires. They had all comprehended the idea in an instant and saw no real difficulty in it. An American sees no real difficulty in anything. Whoever said that the word impossible is not French was certainly wrong. He mistook the dictionary in America. Everything is easy, everything is simple. From throwing off 50,000 printed impressions in an hour to moving monster hotels, guests and all, to any quarter of the city at pleasure. An American engineering difficulty seemed to be all still form between Barbican's a project and its complete realization. No true American could see the shadow of difficulty to say it meant to do it. I never realized power of X for function fx when I was in school. Spit and I rule, you drool. I never realized the power of X of function fx when I was in school. The date was we harnessed electron was the beginning of artificial intelligence. Machines are becoming more and more comfort centric rather than solution centric. It's not artificial intelligence, it's artificial paralysis. The real happiness of an engineer is when your product or service is used by other people. Give me a team of five with an engineer, a physicist, a mathematician, coder, and composer, and I'll improvise a nation impenetrable without needing to kill a single soldier. The company's engineers realized the best approach was to shoot a tiny ball, a tent measuring 30 millionths of a meter wide, moving through a vacuum at a speed of around 200 miles per hour. Rhymer forever, it's not trapping never, live happily ever after, live forever. The tent is then struck twice with a laser, bang, bang, boom, boom, shot with a laser, bang, 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 boom, boom. The first pulse to warm it up, above a spectrum, da, da, da. The second to blast it into a plasma with a temperature around 500,000 degrees, many times hotter than the surface of the sun. The process of blasting tin is then repeated 50,000 times per second to produce UV light in the quantities necessary to fabricate chips into a Pelafin pampa, Pelafin pampa, a turbine boiler, HVAC heat exchanger, a petrochemical oil and gas, pressure vessel, tanke, engineering, Dilharka, Amurahanya to Ayuta, unstop, blah, 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 blah. Difference between toys and innovation is that toys are for the privileged. Innovation is for everyone to dump bum. Machines have a tendency of disconnected mind from society unless you're driven by a humane dream. Silicon dreams only facilitate and humanity. Worse than silicosis is silicon psychosis. Worse than septis mia is a lot and differencia. Worse than a righteous block is fighter's block. To settle an ice age is a result of la ooh la la. Constant before you master Raspberry and Arduino. Learn to master a common everyday humanity. If you're not burning with fire to do good, there's no point to your Grey's Anatomy. Before you master Raspberry and Arduino, learn to master common everyday humanity. Floppity loppa, flop floppity sloppity. Worse than silicosis is silicon psychosis. Pampers, plagiarism, plagiarism, Facebook Pampers conspiracy. More and more innovations are becoming a catalyst of catastrophe. I know I didn't mention the birthday. Very mindful, very demure. Facebook can still be repaired, but once a MAGA, always a suit where innovation that outlives its usefulness is no longer innovation but carnivoration. Innovators are not in touch with soil and roots and predators of the concrete jungle. Blah, blah, blah. King of the jungle. The golden age of startups is behind us today is mostly filth, fraud, and smut amidst the crowd of trust, of fraud. Fund termites by the humanizator to humanize the world that spins and the world that twirls. Was a little girl that had a little curl right in the middle of her forehead. My favorite language of the world is Turkish because its culture electrifies my scars. My favorite language in the East is Telugu because it's music and emboldens my nerves. It's music and emboldens my nerves. I've injured the bird is the word I'm flipping it to you. My favorite language in the West is Spanish because it teaches me the worth of freedom. Favorite ancient tongues, Arabic and Sanskrit. For One embodies peace and never assimilation. My favorite science of all is electronics, for it empowers my imagination untainted. My favorite philosophy is everyday curiosity. It helps me transcend all certain intellect. My favorite religion in the world is surface because it transforms an animal into human. I don't care what you believe or don't, as long as your behavior speaks compassion. Favoritism is a civilized faculty. When practiced beyond blood and border, forever, forever, lives happily ever after, suffer never, live it forever. Problems when you see nothing at all beyond the realm of your family and culture. Technology doesn't make you omnipotent without moderation. They make you stupid, Cupid, spitting a stupid Cupid. A technology driven by the desire for revenue doesn't lift society, instead it wreaks havoc. What is technology all about? Tis all about people and their welfare. All notions to the contrary cause only despair. As per need, humans may own the tech, but no tech must own the humans. Spitting conclusion. No technology difficult tomorrow. No accountability. No tomorrow. Great shall be saying apart until beat tomorrow. Forget about what glass house gargoyles do with tech. How will you, the human, use tech to eliminate sorrow? Great sorrow saying apart until beat tomorrow. Technology is stupidly predictable phenomenon. The shit is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-M. Banana phenomenon. What one person can't imagine, never can rig together. Technology is stupidly predictable phenomenon. The shit is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-M. Banana phenomenon. What one person can imagine, never can rig together. Rapper forever. There's more to technology than startups and entrepreneurship. Power without responsibility causes disparity, not uplift. I taught myself electronics when I fell for it. I'm spitting rap up. What's up, doctor? You're despicable. I taught myself music in my youthful high. I taught myself languages in a sheer obsession. I taught myself aerodynamics, aeronautics, and when I wanted to fly out, I fly like an eagle into that sea. Fly like an eagle for eternity. You only see the tip of the iceberg fullness of the Himalayas. You'll never see. I choose to put many of my passions aside. One path, one mission, one answer to calamity. The first semester of engineering is all about exploration. It is a shift from the theatrical way of sculpting to a more experimental and laboratory-focused study. Imagine a cardiologist surgeon who has never performed any surgery. Would you visit that surgeon in case of a medical emergency? Probably no. Similarly, an engineer is a person who creates, designs, builds, or invents something useful instead of just having a theatrical knowledge with a good looking mark sheet, spitting, rapping in between. For a more balanced life, one should take care of the physical as well as mental fitness. Fake about it. What's the point of doing hard work or working hard if one will give all of the life earnings to the hospitals? Then razzle dazzle, purple snapple. There it goes inside of my head. The echoes begin. There's a spin rapping. I said again and again and again and again. What you learn from others, you can use. You can use to follow. What you learn for yourself, you can use to lead. What you learn from others, you can use to follow. What you learn from yourself, you can use to lead. But what's spitting in between? I need to discuss science versus engineering. Put a glibly in science. If you know what you are doing, you should not be doing it. An engineer, if you do not know what you are doing, you should not be doing it. The vicarious learning from the experiences of others saves making errors yourself. But I regard the study of successes as being basically more important than the study of failures. There are so many ways of being wrong, and so few of being right. So few of being right. Study again. Successes is more efficient, more real as to the extent you can choose. Work on problems you think will be important. Teachers should prepare the student for the student's future, not for the teacher's past. Rap again. The Buddha told his disciples. Then Buddha told his disciples, believe nothing, no matter where you read it or who said it, no matter if I have said it, unless it agrees with your own reasoning and your own common sense. I say the same to you. You must assume the responsibility for what you believe. Make believe, indeed, all day. The reason this happens so often is that creators have to fight, rhyme, all day and all night. Fruit, so many dark difficulties, and wade through so much misunderstanding and confusion. You cannot see the light as others can. And now the door is open and the path made easy. Please remember the inventor often has a very limited view of what he invented, and some others you can see much more. What's flung from the plenty and short, but walk out the door. You will only ask yourself, is what I am being told really true? It is amazing how much you can find is or borders on being false, even in a well-developed field. A second reason the system is engineered design is never completed, and the solution offered to an original problem usually produces both deeper insight and dissatisfactions in the engineers themselves. Furthermore, it's forms of Polonian shall call forevermore, while the design of phase continually goes from proposed solution to evaluation and back again and again. There comes a time when this process of redefinement must stop and the real problem be cooped with us given what they realize in the long run optimal solution choosing. I want to remind you yet again of Pace Pastor's remarkable favors the prepared mind. Yes, it is a matter of luck. Just what you do, it is much less luck. You will do something if you prepare yourself to succeed. Creativity is just another name for a great success, which make a difference in history. I have a master's degree in engineering. What's wrong, Howard? You couldn't get your PhD? I have a PhD degree in engineering, a level of knowledge.